Hello everyone! I thought I would do a proper video introduction to the FIENDISH website to encourage everyone to go check it out, and also provide a comprehensive view of what it provides and how to navigate it. The website for my fantasy comic FIENDISH at fiendishcomic.com functions as a center of operations for this project, as it is an ongoing series with lots of world building and extra material to sort out. On this website, fans can keep up with the production of the comic through blog updates and find resources like a nifty cover guide and a dictionary of the constructed language that appears in the comic. Meanwhile, potential new readers can find free previews of each chapter and learn about the characters and world building, hopefully as a hook before delving into the books. Starting out with the homepage, I have a fancy banner that will lead you to the Read the Comic tab, but we'll visit that later. Scrolling down, you can see the sign up for our email list in the big red bar. Being on our email list is completely free, and I promise I won't spam. You'll just get important updates about the comic and about the website maybe once a month. Further down, we have a short About section and a button to take you to the expanded About tab, which we will also visit in detail later. At the very bottom, we have a short introduction to Access Passes, which is a paid subscription service similar to Patreon that is built into the FIENDISH website. You can choose from a number of monthly tiers that grant access to early content that I post in the blog, or you can buy a one-time pass to read full chapters of the comic right on the website. Right now I just have Chapter 1 available digitally this way, but the later chapters will also be added in time. Moving on, if you click the About tab in the site menu, you'll be taken to the expanded About section, where you will be greeted with a summary of the comic as well as my project philosophy in creating FIENDISH. Further down, you'll see a link to the Read the Comic page, as well as to the various subsections to the About page. Character profiles, the fancy world map that I built, a pantheon for this world, a short list of known intelligent species, and a link to find out more about Nanarsa, my fully functional constructed language that I made just for FIENDISH. Let's start out with the character page. Here you'll find these nifty cards with short character bios and art from the FIENDISH trading cards that we have as stretch goals on every campaign, complete with some basic stats. Hint, you should back the crowdfunding campaigns to get more out of these cards because I stat out all the major characters and some monsters and magical items as well, with Pathfinder 1e stats. If you're a tabletop addict like me, you'll love it. Also, a quick shout out, the artwork on all of these cards are by my friend AC Zamudio, who's also my Pathfinder partner in crime, so good job AC! Next, we have a world map page. This is a fancy world map that I spent entirely too much time on building every minute detail for. Further down on the page, you can also find a nice introduction to the continents that we see on the map. This is basically a map of not the entire globe, but just the part of the world where the story will take place. So if you'd like to get a quick and general feel for the world of FIENDISH, you can head here. Next, we have a Pantheon page. This details not only the gods and demigods of the Cimarron world, but some spirits and supernatural beings as well. This is definitely a page that will be added to later, not least because it is sorely lacking in artwork, but if you are interested in reading about made-up gods and stuff like that, this page is here for you. Further, we have a list of species. The world that FIENDISH takes place in is called a Cimarron universe, and Cimar is the Nanarsa term for any intelligent, mortal species. Think what would usually be elves and dwarves as well as humans in most fantasy books, except in FIENDISH I decided I would build my own species, so there are no elves and dwarves, you just have strange creatures like Dev and the Aluka alongside the humans. Some of these species might change. I have a rule that nothing is set in stone until it is printed on a comic page, because then I can't go back on my decisions. But if you'd like to take a look at a bunch of fantasy species that somebody with too much time on their hands made up, then head here. By the way, these banners are made by me and my friend Ivan Pineda, so shout out to him. And last but not least, for the About subsections, we have a page dedicated to Nanarsa, which is once again my constructed language. My purpose behind building this language is that I figured if I'm going to make a fantasy world truly immersive and believable, it would help to not just have everyone using English. So the comic itself is non-diegetic. This means that when you see English in the speech bubbles, the characters are actually speaking Arvosa, the main common tongue of Arvos, where most of the story takes place. Nanarsa, on the other hand, is the clerical language of Arvosa. It is descended from Virasa, which is this old language used in Vyra, this long-gone great empire that once governed the whole continent. I don't want to get too much into the details of the relationships between all the languages of my world because then this video will be 3 hours long, but suffice to say that on Arvos, almost all record-keeping and official communications are in Nanarsa, which is why I built it out in such detail. You can find the basic phonetic alphabet here, as well as a dictionary of all the words I've made so far. Alright, now we can finally move on to the Read the Comic section. Under the Read the Comic tab, you'll find subsections for each chapter of Fiendish. It's pretty straightforward. I have a preview for each chapter, which you can click through and read right there. Chapter 1 has a huge preview section, but the other chapters will only have about 5 pages for free. Besides this preview reader, you can see a quick summary, and there are also buttons that will take you to buying the physical book on our online store, which I do recommend because Fiendish is designed to be read as a physical book and also because I love physical comics. But if you can't get a physical book for whatever reason, worry not. That's what the other buttons are there for. You can buy one of the aforementioned chapter passes to read the comic on the website. And the cool thing about the integrated website reader is that it comes with creator's notes. As you can see here, as I click through the pages, some of them will have these tabs on top that indicate those pages have extra content, such as pencils, earlier versions of that page, or just my comments. I wanted to set the experience of reading on the website apart from just having a PDF, and I thought this was a great way to add to that experience. Moving back, we have one last option for you to read the comic, also digitally. Fiendish has recently been launched on Global Comics, which is a digital comics platform that I've really enjoyed. Global Comics have a bunch of functions like immersive frame-by-frame reading, and it also has a discussion page built in. Basically, if you want to read the comic digitally, you can choose to read it on the website with creator's notes, or read it on Global Comics for a frame-by-frame or more PDF-like experience. And again, even though Fiendish is 3 releases in, I only have Chapter 1 up right now because I want to stagger the physical and digital releases. All 3 physical releases are available, but only 1 chapter is available digitally, is what I mean. People who back the crowdfunded books should have an ample time to read the chapters first. But eventually, I plan on having all Fiendish chapters up on here. Moving on, we also have a shop that is integrated into the website. Right at the top of the shop are those aforementioned physical books. Of course, you can click through to find out more about every product. Below we have some wall art, posters, my canvas world map, and framed prints too. And at the bottom we have a trove of general merch that I have linked through Printful, so if you've ever used Printful, you'll know that the quality is very good. I have mugs, hats, shirts, and even a Fiendish leather jacket. Everything is made to order, but the wait time is usually 1 to 2 weeks, so it's not too long. Next in the site menu, there is the Fiendish blog. This is where I post important updates for the comic, alongside sending email blasts, and you can also find behind-the-scenes content, like early sneak peeks of pages and covers that are viewable to Access Pass holders only. So again, if you like what you see and you wouldn't mind throwing a couple of bucks at Fiendish every month to support the creative process, then I would very much appreciate it. And thank you to everyone who has bought passes already. I really am grateful. Sliding right on, and we have the gallery, where you can bask in a selection of the best artwork created for Fiendish. And I'm not just saying that about my own art, because there are lots of pieces by other artists on here as well. If you click through the images, you'll be able to see the details and credits for each piece. Obviously, making sure that the art for Fiendish is top-notch is very important to me, so having this gallery just makes me feel so proud and happy. It's just wonderful to see all our hard work paying off. Also, if you hover on the Gallery tab, you'll see a drop-down to a fan art gallery, which is full of awesome artwork as well. I love featuring the fan art that readers have drawn. It just makes me feel all warm and fuzzy inside. And last but not least, we have the cover guide. So this is a function that I don't think I've seen anyone else do, but I thought it would be useful to have. This is a page that lists and details all the different variant covers for Fiendish. I know a lot of comic fans are collectors, so hopefully this is a useful tool for you. The way I have it structured is that every row is one Fiendish release. On the leftmost side of every row is the permanent market cover, where all covers to the right of that are the crowdfunding campaign covers. To further explain, all campaign covers for newly launched Fiendish books are campaign exclusive because I want them to be collector's items that will never be printed again. The permanent market covers are covers that come out after the campaigns. Those are covers for store-sold books and all reprints going forward. And that about does it! I hope that quick introduction to the Fiendish website was useful. I know I've mentioned the website on streams before, but I've never done a proper video explaining why my giant website was so cool. I've really put a lot of time and effort into creating Fiendish, of course, but I've also worked hard on making this website a center of operations that fans can come back to and use to stay connected with the series. This way the comic lives outside of the crowdfunding campaigns, and I have somewhere to showcase process work and fan art and other fun things like that. By the way, you can sign up to be a site member, which is different than buying one of the access passes. Being a site member is free. It is a prerequisite for buying an access pass, but it also lets you comment on the blog, and you kind of get a mini profile page too. It's pretty cool, so check it out. Anyhow, please bookmark fiendishcomic.com and sign up for the email list that is again right on the front page. I hope this video was informative to you. Drop me a like and a comment if it was, and I hope you made it more interested in taking a look at Fiendish. Thanks, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye!